Can these four people survive together?
Hello, I'm Z, and this past month I've been really diving into playing solo RPGs. So I thought I'd do a review of what I've been up to. I got the idea for this video via TerraTube, where people just talk about like their current deck, what they're using, what they aren't using, maybe if they're some books that they're reading, stuff like that. So I thought this would be a good way to like introduce the stuff that I'm doing, the stuff I want to do in the future, and just kind of what's going on with my solo RPG play. I did draw some cards for this. I don't know if they're going to be entirely relevant, but I got the Knight of Cups, the Devil, and the Four of Wands. So the Knight of Cups like more or less represents me, or I feel that that's how I feel represented in the tarot. And the Devil is interesting because the Devil is usually the maker or breaker of change, so I think a lot of Jungian things going on there. And I figure I'm just celebrating this hobby. So that's what I have for that. So I probably spent about a year mulling over playing, and life stuff just kind of got in the way, and I was just able to finally sit and play this month. I put in some hours with my Starforge Star Wars campaign, and just started a game in Nivlova. I did start a Wonderland game with the Starforge system for Wonderland, but I think the Kal Alroth rules might work better, so I'm going to be restarting that when I get the book. This was also a 3 a.m. Man Alone Made Me Buy It purchase. I really like this. It really sold me on being able to do a dungeon crawl pretty easily. So I'm excited to play, but yeah, let's start with dice. So I got this dice bag off of Etsy by Cottontail Kite. It's a pretty big bag. I actually thought it was a little bit smaller, but this is like a 4x4 that can stand up, and as you saw, be able to fold down. And this fabric is kind of glittery, so you can sort of see. It's just easy to see my dice in here, which is why I got the light colored one. I got that, and I got some new dice from ChessX. I'm trying very hard not to be a dice goblin, but I do enjoy themed dice. So for my vampire themed one, I got these dice to use. These are pretty much my sci-fi dice, and then I got some clear readable D6s. So what I have here is I have this folder. It's a cover for a traveler's passport notebook, but it holds little bits of paper pretty well. I was really impressed with the Juice Oracle, so I printed that out, and I have the Null and Fate die cheat sheets here, my Starforge cards here, and I have my character stats here, and the NPC tilt system from Electric State that I like quite a bit. I don't know, there was something about this that seemed very easy to read, but that was like the first table that I saw that kind of had this kind of smooth transition between, like, you know, I get a 3 of hearts, and it's like pretty good for the PC, and like you can also see the intensity all at once, which is why I like it. That. Oh yeah, the game store. I'll show you what I got at the game store recently. So I trekked to my local game store a few days ago, and I picked up Death in Berlin. It uses cards and dice. I have no idea how to play this, but being a Cold War agent sold me. I don't know, I just thought it was really cool, and like I like this setup for doing a conspiracy. Roughly the first half tells you like some information and like highlights from the Cold War, and the rest of it is the game. So excited to play that, and I also got Against the Wind. I really enjoyed the interview with this author, so I thought I'd pick it up and see what it's about. And there's lots of tables. It's really fun. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for. I might try to integrate this with like a dark crystal plate. So I got those two at the game store. So feature plans. I'm waiting on the Revenant book to come. It's an Ironsworn but post-apocalyptic, flexible for Stalker or Walking Dead scenarios. My plans were to use it for a Stalker-esque experience. I was going to do an Iron Valley game, but with everything that's going on, I don't think I'm going to get to it. So I've been waiting for the newer playtest of Elegy to be released. So I've been mostly commonplacing material into a document. Nothing too fleshed out. I realized questions and oblique words were all the clues I needed while still keeping it fresh. It's like an outline approach to prep. For my vampire game, a good example is the tagline from Only Lovers Left Alive. How could you live so long and still not get it? I'm not sure Jim Jarmusch answered that question, but it sounds cool as hell, so it's going to be one of the central questions in my game. Oh, I want to talk a little bit more about... it takes place after Order 66, and I have 4 player characters. 2 brothers, a smuggler and a Jedi, a clone trooper, and a non-clone combat medic.
While I was putting together the characters, I accidentally put in the Jedi's portrait into the smugglers, and I thought, actually that's kind of interesting if they were twins, and if one brother was taken to the temple and they got to know each other as an adults. So, sort of like asking questions about like twins who don't know each other against the backdrop of like the clone story. You know, can these 4 people survive together?
I've put in about at least 5 hours into it, and so far there's still a lot of tension holding. The medic and the trooper don't quite trust the Jedi yet, and vice versa. The smuggler is trying to get to know his brother, but the Jedi is very deep into the Jedi way of life, and obviously that just fell apart. So there's a lot of pretty good back and forth still holding up. I've been mainly using the Starforge reference guide. Aside from some tables from Juice, I've been finding it's all the tables I really need to like tell my story. And I have the stuff I use the most bookmarked. Adventure moves, session moves, explore, and combat. I found I've been definitely going through the settlement pages a lot. Let's see, and like for NPCs, the character pages. I really like the revealed character aspect table. That one I like a lot. And factions, because this is pretty much kind of like nearing into Edge of the Empire territory. Location themes. I just realized that this table was here a few days ago, so I bookmarked it so I would use it more. So I had been thinking a lot about what Madeline said about playing in IPs. For me, the idea of playing in an IP gives me world guardrails. I have a pretty decent idea of the Star Wars universe. I feel pretty comfortable playing in it. I do care a lot about the clone story, and while I do like the Jedi, seeing them from how other people view them has been an interesting experiment to play out. My Jedi character is more or less a tick right now, but obviously for good reason. I think this easily mirrors when Kanan meets the clones as an adult, and it was also impactful to see him as a young man in the Bad Batch opener, which does mark the start of Order 66. So that was all something I can kind of chew on and think about in the time period that I chose. I'd say I feel that I'm playing too quickly sometimes, not lingering enough on scenes. I'm mainly playing in the Poom and Pocket Forged apps. Pocket Forge I felt really helped me get used to how the roles worked. I was getting a lot of matches, and I was not really understanding what a match looked like. But I used that quite a bit at the start, but now I'm just back to regular dice. yeah, that's what I have. That's what I've been working on, what I've been playing. I hope this was an easy and short introduction. Thank you for watching.